America belongs to all of us, particularly young people, because young people are the future of America. That's why we want you to see this film and also share with you an historic moment at the White House that belongs to young people. The certification of the 26th Amendment of the Constitution, providing the right to vote for those between the ages of 18 and 21. As if to symbolize how important he thought this constitutional step was, the President of the United States invited 3 of the visiting young people at the White House that day to witness this far-reaching document and to sign their names to it. What the President said on that historic occasion was, in reality, for every young person in America.
We stand for something far more important than wealth and far more important than strength. We stand for something that made this country the wonder of the world 195 years ago. Just think of it. 3 million people then, very poor, very weak by world standards, and yet Thomas Jefferson was able to say, we act not for ourselves alone, but for the whole human race. He could not have said that, and the world would not have believed him, and they did believe him, unless America stood for something other than wealth and strength. And what did it stand for? Well, first, it was a young nation. And second, it was an idealistic nation. And third, it was a nation that believed in itself, that had faith in God, and also that set very high purposes and very high goals for all people. That is why people came to America when they had the opportunity, because here there was more chance, more opportunity than in any nation in the world. It's significant, incidentally, that this very desk on which we have certified this amendment was the desk that Thomas Jefferson used at the Continental Congress during the time that that Congress was meeting in Philadelphia. He used to stand up writing at that desk because while he was a relatively young man, not perhaps by your standards, but certainly by mine, only 33 years of age, he had arthritis, and he therefore liked to write standing up. But coming now to the basic theme, the reason that I believe that young Americans, you who represent the youth of America at its best, the reason I believe that your generation, the 11 million new voters, will do so much for America at home is that you will infuse into this country some idealism, some courage, some stamina, some high moral purpose that this nation always needs. Because a country throughout history, we find, goes through ebbs and flows of idealism. And time after time, the country needs an infusion of new spirit, an infusion of youth. You are bringing that. And as I meet with this group today, I sense that we can have confidence that America's new voters, America's young generation, will provide what America needs as we approach our 200th birthday. Not just strength and not just wealth, but the spirit of 76, a spirit of moral courage, a spirit of high idealism in which we believe in the American dream, but in which we realize that the American dream can never be fulfilled until every American has an equal chance to fulfill it in his own life. That's what I believe, it's what you believe, and that's why I think we're so proud to have you in this room today on this historic occasion.
The film you are about to see carries a message of dedication and hope for all Americans. We hope you will enjoy it.
Independence Day, the nation's birthday. Normally an occasion for the usual trappings of July 4th. Bands, oratory, fireworks, patriotism blended with picnics. But this was a new decade. We needed more than just another flag-waving holiday. We needed something more than tired ritual. For on this July 4th, we were asked to show pride in our country at a time when values and beliefs nearly 200 years old were being questioned and challenged. Our nation's capital, 194 years after Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence. This document gave us a unique vision of independence. It gave us the means to make independence work. It challenged us to create our own destiny through the sometimes slow and often agonizing process of democracy. It committed every American to work with his fellow citizens with diverse backgrounds and ideas, each helping toward common goals, each retaining his rights as an individual. They came from across the country, nearly 400,000. They came from a land often saddened by disillusionment and dissent. They came to the capital city of their nation for an event labeled Honor America Day. This massive family reunion had been conceived by four men: a hotel executive, J. Willard Marriott, a magazine editor, Hobart Lewis of Reader's Digest, a minister, the Reverend Billy Graham, and Bob Hope. Here in Washington, D.C., Americans came to stand together to express their trust and respect to help celebrate a renewal of faith.
This is my country. This is our country. This is the land we love. And so here in Washington, on the steps of the memorial dedicated to one of our great fathers, we honor you, America, for you are our country. God bless America, my home.
This man lived during some of our country's most desperate days. And yet, even during the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln envisioned hope and a better future, knowing that the American dream is a mockery if it cannot be for all Americans.
No man is good enough to govern any other man without the other's consent. Those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves, and under a just God cannot long retain it. The fiery trial through which we pass will light us down in honor or dishonor to the latest generation. We here highly resolve that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Our reliance is in the love of liberty, which God has planted in us. Our defense is in the spirit which prized liberty as the heritage of all men, in all lands, everywhere. Destroy this spirit, and you have planted the seeds of despotism at your own doors.
Lately, our institutions have been under attack. The Supreme Court, the Congress, the presidency, the flag, the home, the educational system, and even the church. But we are here to say with loud voices that in spite of their faults and failures, we believe in these institutions. Let's let the world know today that the majority of us still proudly sing, "My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty." Today, I call upon all Americans to recommit to the ideals and dreams for which our country was founded. What our forefathers began, we must work to fulfill. Their goal must be our goal. Their vision must be our vision. I say to you today, pursue the vision. Reach toward the goal. Fulfill the American dream. And as you move to do it, never give in. Never give in. Never, 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 never.
Wake up, America! Wake up right now! Wake up, America!
Most of us are more emotional than eloquent. We feel things that we just can't put into words. But by their presence here, Americans were saying something about their beliefs. You ask anyone what he believes in, and you're likely to touch a chord that vibrates with sincerity.
The greatest motivator in the world is faith, and we've got to rekindle people's faith in our country, in our system. Do you think there's a place for dissent in America?
That's what democracy is all about, is the freedom to express your own different feelings on the way the country's run.
I've been in a number of places in the world, and I am still proud to be an American. I admit we have a lot of things wrong with the country. I have a brother that spent a year in Vietnam, had a son over there. He was killed over there.
Do you have a definition for freedom?
It's to live without infringing on anybody else's rights and to do your own thing.
What about young people? A lot of people say young people are all only dissidents. They don't care about America.
No, that's not true at all. I think we all want to make America a better place to live in, and we each have our own ways of doing it.
America, America, there is a land, a song and story, where every line is sweet to read the land of glory. I'm going there.
It's tremendously heartening to see these thousands of people from all over the country, and it proves one thing. The railroads are still running.
Even in difficult times, one of our most priceless assets is our national sense of humor, the ability to relax and have fun. And this is why some of the biggest names in entertainment joined in this special way of saying happy birthday to their country.
And for instance, everyone knows that Washington threw $1 across the Potomac. But did you know that before it hit the other side, it was caught by Jack Benny?
Now this is the violin that I use, ladies and gentlemen, when I give concerts. I mentioned one before that I gave here at Constitution Hall. It's a real Stradivarius violin. It's been in our family for years. My great-grandfather gave it to my grandfather gave it to my father, and my father sold it to me.
You're kidding, honey. I'm solid canary.
Yeah, right. You sure got the beat for it.
Hey, it's a lot of fun being here. As a matter of fact, that's quite a reception there, and I didn't think actually anybody would recognize me. I keep forgetting that we're on television, but coming in back here, there was a group of people. Someone yelled, "Red Skelton's in the crowd," and they all turned around and looked at me. I was so embarrassed. I was sorry I yelled.
Boy, beautiful, beautiful. I was just thinking back there, you know, we are one. America is one big family, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to tell you one thing. I don't know about your family. I have a pretty big one. But every family has problems, you know? But they fix them up. Some you have to work on, some a little harder than others. And while these problems are going on, that deep love, that deep loyalty for the family never wavers, ladies and gentlemen. Keep that in mind. Very important.
Nations, like families, grow and mature. The American dream was first proclaimed 2 centuries ago with the words that began, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union." Now this golden goal of liberty and justice for all people was born in adversity, forged out of conflict, and continues to be perfected through experience and trial. Now, this is not an achievement that can be celebrated on just a single day, because our American dream is still a challenging experiment that must continue to change and grow in response to the needs of the people. But we can, and did, spend one day to remind ourselves that it's possible to speak proudly of what's right with America, without forgetting what's wrong. We can rededicate ourselves to the solution of our problems while admitting that we don't have all the answers. But on this Independence Day, we stood together and looked beyond the fanfare and the fireworks of July 4th. We stood together and reaffirmed our pride in the past, but also committed ourselves to meet the challenge of the future. On this day, we grew a little.